Detroit, Nick Jensen was going to cost more than the Detroit Red Wings wanted to pay to retain, so they got what they could for him rather than lose him for nothing in the summer. The Red Wings received a second-round pick in 2020 and young defenseman Madison Bowey from the Washington Capitals for Jensen on Friday. They won't know for several years how those future assets pan out, but it's about as good a return as they could have expected. The Capitals selected Bowey in the second round in 2013, 53rd overall. The Red Wings liked him back then because of his size, now 6'2", 198, skating ability and right-handed shot. He had 1 goal, 5 assists and 38 penalty minutes in 33 games with Washington this season. Things haven't worked out for him in Washington to grab a big role, but he's played 85 games in the National Hockey League in the last 2 years, so we felt it was an opportunity to grab a young defenseman and see if we can turn him into a regular NHL defenseman, Holland said. Bowey had a pair of 60-point seasons with the WHL Kelowna Rockets. I watched him play 2 or 3 times in Cologne in his draft year, Holland said. I like that he can skate. I think it's a league where it's important to be able to skate. He's a guy that put up a fence in juniors. When you play pro hockey, do you run a power play, or do you kill a penalty? Is he going to be a guy that can come in here and put up a fence, or do we got to kind of get him to focus on killing penalties and the defensive side of the puck? We've got to observe him for a little while, talk to him and then try to figure out how we can turn Madison into a regular NHL defenseman. Bowey, 23, will join the team for practice Saturday. Coach Jeff Blashill will decide when to insert him into the lineup. We want to make sure when he goes in the lineup, he understands the system and he feels comfortable with everything and we give him a chance to hit the ground running, Holland said. You try to give them an opportunity and then it's up to them to kind of grab their chunk of the ice time. Bowey has 1 year remaining on his contract after this season at $1 million. He'll become a restricted free agent in 2020. Jensen signed a 4-year, $10 million extension with the Capitals shortly after the move. Holland said he had a lot of discussions with Jensen's agent. He was willing to go 4 years, but not at that salary. Over the last week as I'm talking to general managers around the league, a number of teams had interest in Nick, Holland said. Capitals GM, Brian McClellan and I talked 3 to 4 times over the last week and I sensed he would like to do the deal and he sensed I wanted to do the deal. I told him one of the things I wanted as part of the deal was a second-round draft pick. The Red Wings now have 2 second-rounders in 2020 as well as this season. Their own in Vegas from the Tomas Tatar trade. Nick is 28, skates good, character guy, certainly has improved but at the end of the day we couldn't find a solution, Holland said. Holland noted the team has several defense prospects close to being NHL ready. We got Gustav Lindström, a right-shot defenseman playing for Frölunda, Sweden. We think he's a year, 2 years max, away from playing in the National Hockey League, Holland said. You got Filip Hronek, Dennis Kalowski. We got Jared McIsaac and juniors, who we're excited about. We're hoping in the next couple of years we're going to have 3 or 4 young defensemen. Holland didn't sound like he was on the verge of signing Jimmy Howard or Gustav Nyquist, 2 other impending unrestricted free agents. I would say to you that just going to see what happens on the trade front between now and Monday, he said. The trade deadline is Monday at 3 p.m. Asked if there has been interest in the 2 on the trade front, Holland said, "Do I get lots of calls about lots of people? Yeah, but I don't know what that means. I don't know if somebody's 9th on their depth chart, if he's 2nd on their depth chart. So, what ends up happening from a managerial perspective as you call around? I call it tire kicking. You start to talk about players. Have I got teams kicking tires? Yeah? I don't know what the tire kicking means. I'm going to know between now and Monday."